Hello, hello. All righty. I am getting on here, excuse me, a little bit earlier today because on Wednesdays is typically when I meet with my clients and I do calls and things. So I'm all dressed up earlier in the day. So I don't have to wait until the evening to go live. But it is Wednesday as promised because I said I was going to be going live Monday, Wednesday, Friday. If you are watching me live on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, drop a what's up in the chat so I know you're here. I have my little Instagram window pulled up so I can see if anybody is here. Today, I am talking about a very powerful topic, and that is limiting beliefs. And we all have a set of beliefs that govern what we believe to be true and possible for ourselves. But some of the things that we believe are limiting in that they keep us thinking, feeling, and believing things about ourselves that just simply are not true. For example, like that we're not good enough, or that we're unlovable, or that making money is hard, or that, it never works out for me. Those types of things are beliefs that you may have that are limiting you, that are holding you back. And really, in this video, I'm going to be talking about step one of getting rid of limiting beliefs. Is number one, you got to know what they are. So you have to uncover them. And I'm going to explain to you a very quick way for you to do that. But before I get into that, I just want to explain what limiting beliefs are, because the fact is, yeah, if you're in the coaching space, you might know, but a lot of individuals in my audience, perhaps including you, may not know what I'm talking about when I say limiting beliefs. So when I'm speaking about limiting beliefs, I kind of explained a little bit, but think of your brain as a computer. And when you think about a computer is designed to do certain things. Well, what tells it what it is supposed to do? The programming. The programming running on the computer tells it what it is supposed to do. So if the programming tells it, okay, you send emails, you print documents, whatever, that's what the computer is going to do. The computer is never going to get up and mail your letters. It's not going to get up and go down the street. It's not even built for that. So the point is the computer is never going to do anything other than exactly what it is programmed to do. The same thing is true of us as human beings, as individuals, and the same in for our brain. Now, here's what's interesting about our brains and about our beliefs is that our brain takes in an innumerable amount of information at any and all times. Think about when you're driving down the street, how much you see, how much you hear, you could be hearing, but you're not hearing and seeing everything. If you could, you would go insane. So, what is your brain bringing into your awareness? Well, it's only bringing that into your awareness, which you believe to be true and possible for you. So, for example, let's say you believe that all men are liars. Now, are all men liars? Absolutely not. There are an abundance of good men. However, if your programming in your brain, your belief is that all men are liars, guess what your brain is going to bring into your awareness? Men who are liars. And all of this is happening on a subconscious level. It's not something that you're aware of. Even these men are not aware of why they're attracted to you, and you're not aware of why you're attracted to them. But there's this magnetic energy between you that you're drawn to each other. And it's the subconscious things that you both are thinking and believing to be true that's drawing you to one another. So in that context, if you wanted to not attract men who are liars, you would have to change what you believed to be true about men. And then that is what you would begin to attract, because those would be the type of men that your brain would bring into your awareness. So anytime you find yourself dealing with a pattern in your life, like you keep having this same problem coming up, or you keep experiencing the same type of relationships again and again, that is a symptom or an evidence that you have a belief floating around in there that has not been dealt with. And a big indicator is that there's one going on is if you have gotten to a level or a measure of success and you either sabotage your way back down, or you get there and you just can't seem to break past that. It feels like you're blocked. It feels like you're stuck, even though you seem to have everything that you have worked for and wanted, but you want more, or you want to get past it, or you keep getting it and losing it and getting it and losing it. What is it that keeps yanking you back down to your reality? You ever heard that expression? It's just bringing you back to reality. Listen, reality is relative, because your reality is not my reality. I may believe something different. For example, I believe that I am a lady. So when I show up and act like a lady, it activates the inner gentleman in any man. So I don't worry about men opening doors for me or offering to do kind things. That is just them being chivalrous. And that is not something that is sexual or any of that. It's just an innate thing in them that is activated. Their inner gentleman gets activated when they're in the presence of a lady. That's what I believe. So that's how they behave towards me. They're not slimy and grimy. They're respectful and all these things because that's what I believe. Do you understand what I'm saying? But if you believe something different, and if you and I are sitting down having lunch, swapping stories, our stories are going to be totally different. I'm going to be thinking, well, my goodness, where are you going and meeting these men? What's happening? And if we're together, I may even witness you having said experience. Have you ever been out with somebody and it seems like no matter what they do, just stuff keeps happening to them? And you're like, what is her problem? Or what is going on? Or why does everybody have an attitude with her? Or what is the deal? It's because of something going on a beliefs level. So sometimes you can be in proximity to somebody whose beliefs are like, yikes, That's why that expression says, tell me who your friends are, I'll tell you who you are. Well, you don't want to be like that. You want to be calibrated to something different, something that is going to allow you to have what it is that you desire and have what it is that you want. So that is what limiting beliefs are. Now, the second part that you may be wondering is, okay, but where do they come from? Well, they're formed in childhood because children, think in very black and white terms. They don't have the adult understanding of the world. And so when they hear things over and over again or experience things over and over again that make them feel a certain way, or they experience traumatic events, they draw conclusions. They're just trying to make sense of something that doesn't make sense. And it's very black and white. They'll say, oh, okay, like for example, I use the example of men. So if their father wasn't around and that is consistently their experience and what was ingrained as you're a little girl, then you'll say, okay, well, all men aren't reliable, or okay, men aren't around, or okay, you can expect men to abandon you. And that's what you decide that must be true as a little girl. Well, fun fact, those beliefs don't change just because you get older and you develop a greater understanding of the world and people's circumstances and maturity levels and all this stuff. It doesn't change. And you'll know that because you'll find yourself consistently attracting men who are emotionally unavailable, or you'll consistently find yourself in situations where you're overlooked, afraid to speak up, whatever the case is. It will reveal itself in different ways, in different situations, but it will always reveal itself. So your results will always tell you what it is that you believe. So they come from childhood, okay? And they're largely a factor of how we experienced our parents' presence or absence. So what we made that mean about ourselves, what we heard them say, what we saw them do, and what we experienced from them. Now, other factors in that are also our community, our environment, and our culture. I just had a conversation with a woman today, and we were talking about how she feels like she is constantly overgiving and just feels like it's almost a bad thing, or she feels guilty if she is sharing her feelings with her clients. She feels like she's supposed to show up for them, but she's almost in a sense not allowed to be human with them. She has to maintain this way of being and always just be giving and giving and giving, but fundamentally not ever really allowing herself to receive and to receive grace. Excuse me. Now, why do I say that that is linked to a limiting belief that is cultural? Well, her particular culture, the parental relationship is such that the children are expected to do everything their parents say. Everything their parents say, they are expected to do it. They are all expected to be high achievers. They're expected to be just about one or two clicks away from perfect. To have all the degrees, to make all the money, to get married, to have the kids, to be successful. That is the programming that is ingrained in that culture. And so when you grow up in that culture, it's ingrained in you. It's a part of your identity. You literally don't know any other way to be. And no matter how much you keep working on yourself, you keep peeling back these layers and you're like, why do I keep circling back to this same place? And it is because on a beliefs level, she has this belief that that is what she is supposed to be. And also in her culture, the women are martyrs for their family. They're martyrs. They overgive without complaining. And it's like a badge of honor. Like the more I'm suffering or the more I'm, giving, oh my goodness, look what a great woman I am. I'm such a good woman. And so if that's your mother and our identities as women, yes, are wrapped up in our mothers. She's our day in, day out, living, breathing example of what it means to be a woman when we're growing up, good, bad, or indifferent. It is what it is. But when that standard was such that the bar was set so high, and she's like your standard of what's good and excellent and what it means to be, that's what it means for you to be a good woman. And that's not who you are, and that's not how you live your life. Internally, you judge yourself for that. You judge yourself. I got to be a little more of a martyr. I got to give a little more. I got to keep giving and giving and giving. I'm not allowed to receive. I'm not allowed to sit down, or I'm being lazy, or I'm not being productive. All of that messaging and conditioning, those are beliefs. Those are limiting beliefs because they are limiting her from being able to receive grace. And number one, from herself, just giving herself a break. 9 times out of 10, or really 10 times out of 10, the person that we are frustrated with the most, in a fight with the most, is ourselves, our own thoughts. We're literally just fighting against ourselves. And that's the frustration, because you can't get away. You can't just go in another room and slam the door. You just constantly have to be dealing with yourself and your thoughts. So that's where limiting beliefs come from. So the good news on that is it's not even your fault why you have them and what they are. But the good news is you're an adult now. And so you get to decide what you're going to keep that you were given and what you're going to release. And the purpose is not to try to blame our parents or our culture for why we are the way we are. That's irrelevant. What's relevant is you now are in a position to choose what you're going to keep, because a lot of it was good, and what you're going to release, what's not working for you. And so you have to know, well, what are they? What are these beliefs that are limiting me? So I'm going to share with you a very quick exercise that you can do. It's going to allow you to identify some of your biggest barriers. Think about what it is that you really desire. Okay. Just one thing, the one thing that's like top of mind for you that you really are desiring. And then allow yourself to just visualize what that looks like, what that feels like. See yourself in that visualization. And now, as you're visualizing it, pay attention to what thoughts and feelings come up, even as you're starting. You will, things will come up and you're, oh, I can't do that, or I can't have that. Like you might want to envision yourself living in a 10,000 square foot house, but your brain immediately goes to, well, how are we gonna pay for that? We can't do that. And this is, those are your beliefs. They're even trying to control your imagination. Like you're not allowed to even imagine, what it is that you don't believe to be true. Your brain, it won't, it's like, nope, nope, nope. So that's the exercise that you can do, is to think about what it is that you desire, visualize it, or try really hard to visualize it, and pay attention to the thoughts that come up, the negative limiting thoughts telling you you can't have that, you're not good enough, and write it down. Write it down, because that's the uncovering and the identification process. That's key, because if you don't know what it is, then you can't deal with it. You don't know what you need to release. Okay. So that's just step one that I was going to dig into today. Let me just check over here on Instagram, see if anybody's commenting. Thank you so much for joining and being here, you guys who are watching live. And if you have a thought or a question about anything that I'm sharing, go ahead and drop it in the chat, because I'm getting ready to wrap things up here. But one of the things that I have always done in my business has been, and my gift is being able to get to the bottom of things very quickly. And that is being able to help my clients identify the exact limiting beliefs that are keeping them from what it is that they desire, whether it's just how they feel about themselves, wanting to feel more confident, or, just better in their own skin, or having better relationships with men, whether they're single and desiring to attract the love of their life, or they're already married to a good man and want to improve that relationship, or even their relationship with money. How are they relating to it? Right? What are the beliefs that you have about it that are keeping you stuck at a certain income ceiling, or that are keeping you in the feast or famine cycle? That is the type of work that I do with my clients. And so if that is something that you are interested in, then absolutely DM me on Instagram if you're watching this replay on YouTube. Or if you are watching this on Facebook, LinkedIn, or Instagram, just DM me the word. Let's see what word we'll use for today. Beliefs. We'll say beliefs. DM me the word beliefs, and I will start a conversation with you and just kind of help get to the bottom of what you have going on. See if I can really help you in any way, and then we'll go from there. All right. So if you again would like assistance with your limiting beliefs, DM me the word beliefs. And if you have any thoughts, comments, or questions on what it is that I've discussed here today, just drop them in the comments below, especially if you're watching the replay, so I know that you are here. And yeah, thanks for watching. Be sure to like, follow, subscribe, because I'm streaming this to multiple platforms, and share this with a friend who needs to watch this. Share this with a friend that keeps doing this, keeps doing this. And the other thing I'll say, that's what I meant to say, and I forgot. I'm sorry. It is what it is. I'm human and I can give myself grace. Is I wanted to tell you about my VIP day here in Las Vegas. One of the beliefs that I had and have worked through is that I should say this, I am reclaiming a belief that I had that I allowed myself to get taken away from, but I'm stepping back into, and that is that whatever I create works. And I was looking outside of myself for guidance on how to do certain things in my business when those are things that I really should have been doing for myself, listening to myself, my own intuition, all those types of things. And one of those is being with my clients in person. I love that. I love that. There's nothing more powerful than that. And so right now, my offer is you coming to Vegas and spending a day with me, followed up with 30 days of virtual support. And this is ideal for a woman who wants to get to the bottom, create results quickly, and move through things fast, because that's how I am. I'm not a person who wants to be sitting around marinating in something. It's like you've been sitting around marinating in it your whole life. So it's like, let's just get it done and move on. You know what I'm saying? And if more time is required, well, we'll have that conversation when we get there. All right. So thank you so much for watching. Let me just check here. And if you're watching this on LinkedIn, I usually can't see your comments until I get off of here. I don't know what the deal is on StreamYard, but yeah, thank you so much for being here. And I will see you on Friday, where I'm going to be talking about step 2 in how to get rid of your limiting beliefs. Enjoy your day.